And welcome to the Henry Ford College special meeting. It's March 2nd, and the time right now is 7:05. Let's call the meeting to order.
Trustee Bazey.
Here.
Trustee D'Ambrosio.
Here.
Trustee Mozeb.
Here.
Trustee Petlichkov.
Here.
Trustee Subah.
Here.
Trustee Zahar here. Chair Al-Jahmi.
Here.
Next item is citizen participation. Citizens wishing to address the board on agenda and non-agenda items for action who have submitted a blue card by 7:10 p.m. to the secretary may speak at this time. The board may not be in a position to respond to non-agenda items. Therefore, speakers should not anticipate an immediate response to their comments or questions. For the benefit of all concerned, do not mention the names of students or college employees. Please limit comments to 3 minutes. If during those 3 minutes the comments become personally directed, abusive, obscene, or irrelevant, your public comment time may be interrupted or ended. We do have blue cards, Chair. I'm just getting my timer out. Our first blue card is from, is it Halima? Yes, Halima Muhyiddin.
Good evening, everyone. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Respected board members and respected stakeholders. If you have attended all the board meetings, you might have seen me because I have attended pretty much every single board meeting held. In the past, I have attended as a mother of a prospective student because my daughter went to Crescent Academy. My son went to Crescent Academy as well, but he went to Y High and UFM. My daughter wants to come to this college because most of her friends came here. They live in Westland or Dearborn. Today I'm attending as a higher education professional because I'm concerned. And I'm here because I would like to understand the transparency of the process which was followed to shortlist the candidates for presidency. Being in higher education for the last 30 years, there's not one single avenue that I did not research or explore to make sense of the list that was leaked. And I mean, that is something not being discussed, but the candidates on that and the articles that have been published in the news about how some things were diluted behind closed doors while finalizing candidates. I don't know what the truth of the matter is. All I know is that during all past meetings, I know that all of your hearts is in a good place. You want to do something for the institution that will be everlasting and also build the future of our upcoming youth. I need to understand what was the criteria followed, what framework or rubric did the committee or the consultants follow to identify and shortlist the people that you considered. And also, strong connection to that, one of the people that I know, 2 or 3 very strong community leaders nominated that person, and I was very delighted. I nominated the person too. I know him personally, but that's not the qualification. Based on merit, 100% merit, no religion, no color, no faith, nothing. To run an institution, you need a solid leader who is competent in all the aspects that are required to run a stable institution and build it and grow it. That person did not even get acknowledged. And the person is so highly qualified that half of the finalists do not come close to him. So that was a clear-cut evidence for me that something fell through the cracks and I don't know what it is. So kindly help me understand what the process was.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Oh, sorry. Our next speaker is Lynn Boza.
Good evening,
Good evening.
Chair Al-Jahmi, board members. I'm addressing you about the recent presidential search and the Presidential Search Committee. I'm Lynn Boza, and I'm president of the Adjunct Faculty Organization. I've been president for that organization for about 8 years, and I've been a counselor part-time at Henry Ford College for 17 years. I was on the search committee this time, as well as the search committee for the previous president. With the exception of having many more candidates In doing some of the work virtually and electronically, I felt that both the process for the last president and the process for this president were essentially the same. The work of the search committee has come under much criticism. I believe that a search firm was hired in order to make sure that the process was objective. The committee trusted that the search firm, which works for many colleges, implemented a process here that was objective. And we on the search committee followed that process. Our leaders from the board followed that process. Any criticism should be aimed at the firm, not the board nor the committee, in my opinion. Thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Michael Hill.
Good evening, Chair Ajami and board members of the board. I'm Dr. Michael Hill, the Chair of the Faculty Senate and Organization, and a longtime member of the college. The last time I appeared before the board, I spoke about the glowing reputation this college has long held in the community and in the world of higher education for our transparent, fair, and well-established practices. I spoke to you about the commitment of the faculty to this college and our pride in serving the students, the board, and the community. That pride is founded on the ways we do our work with integrity. I asked you then to honor our processes and the processes that you, as our board, established and approved by allowing the Presidential Search Committee to do its work. I'm here tonight because the board did not fully honor our processes and your own decisions when it decided to add a name to the semifinalist list a couple of weeks ago. In an unprecedented move, the board allowed your own search process to be challenged by illicit reports from someone who was frankly in violation of their agreement to maintain confidentiality. I'm here tonight because, once again, the Arab American News has produced reporting that is, in my opinion, untrue and harmful to this college. This board has a long history of maintaining fair processes for hiring, especially in such a visible hire as the president. And these processes are common across higher education. These processes use advisory committees to narrow long lists of candidates because professionals who apply for such high-profile jobs deserve confidentiality lest they endanger whatever position they currently hold. This confidentiality allows us to attract desirable, renowned, and highly qualified candidates for our positions. These committees, though, do not make decisions about who is hired or, in the case of a presidential search, who are the semifinalists or finalists. The board makes those decisions precisely because it is the decision-making body. The Arab American News article shows little understanding of the nature of higher education hiring. It lacks any fact-checking or expansive opinion on the topic, and with such biased reporting, once again reveals an agenda to harm this college and this board. Similarly, the unnamed legal experts the paper cites seem confused about the role of hiring at this college and in higher education in general. The citation of the Michigan Supreme Court decision about a committee recommending marijuana dispensaries in the city of Warren is especially concerning. And if the opinion of these legal experts were to be believed, every hiring committee on this campus would similarly be a decision-making body and would have to follow the Opens Meeting Act, because every hiring committee goes through a similar process of winnowing a list of candidates down to the finalists and making recommendations about who to interview. Do these legal experts believe that every advisory committee in every public institution must follow the Open Meetings Act? The danger here, of course, is to our stellar reputation as a community college of integrity. As a college, we currently have a number of staff, faculty, and administrative positions with hiring committees underway that are open and ready for new people. If I were a candidate for one of those positions, I would seriously consider withdrawing my name if I could not trust this board with my application for employment. What high-level professional, after all, wants to work at a college which puts potential employees at risk by portraying a confidential application process and whose processes are so flimsy as to be ignored whenever political pressure is applied? please continue to do the excellent work you always do by protecting this college and our integrity.
The next speaker is Eric Rader.
Chair Aljami, members of the board, it's good to be here with you again tonight. I do appreciate the significance of this appointment process to our college and community and the commitment you have to appointing the best possible candidate to be our next president. I have devoted 22 years of my career to this institution, and I hope to retire from here someday. I do love this college, as I know we all do, and we all want the best for it. I fully support the list, the finalists that you are considering tonight at this meeting. It does represent the consensus of the Advisory Search Committee on which I served about who could best serve our students and community as the next president of Henry Ford College. This list is the result of countless hours of work by a committee of internal and external stakeholders at HFC, and some of whom are here tonight. I've been proud to serve with this dedicated group of diverse professionals and students whose goal was to fulfill the mission you set out for us in November, to review the applications for president and present you with the most highly qualified candidates as you move to the next stage of the process. The process our search committee followed was clear from the beginning when you appointed the committee in the fall, and is really identical to, except for, as my colleague Lynn Boza pointed out, did some things electronically, but was essentially identical to the ones we've used for recent presidential searches. I was on the previous two. With the goal of attracting the most qualified applicant pool in a national search, committee discretion is important. It's necessary. We all sign confidentiality agreements at the beginning of the process to ensure its integrity. The AFT, which is my national union, American Federation of Teachers, represents faculty at most of the area colleges and universities in Metro Detroit and throughout the state. We're talking about public institutions. Macomb Community College, Wayne State University, and Eastern Michigan University have all engaged in the last several months or half year in a presidential search process. They are also obligated to follow the same laws as Henry Ford College, and they have all engaged in a process quite similar to the process we've used here at HFC based on my consultation with my colleagues at those institutions. And it's a search committee meeting confidentially to recommend candidates to their board of trustees or board of governors, and the board making the final decision, as you will here. Potential applicants would not apply if the process were not kept confidential, and we do want the best possible applicant pool. The current HFC process really is the norm, not the exception to how these searches take place at peer institutions in Michigan. Those of us on the Advisory Search Committee have worked with integrity to identify the best group of candidates to serve as president of HFC. We all want a president who will be successful in leading this college in the years ahead. The individuals on the list that you're considering tonight, I feel meet the guidelines you set out for us last fall, and I hope you'll approve this list as you prepare to conduct final interviews later in the month. So, thank you.
Thank you, Eric.
And our final speaker is Joel Geffen.
It's a pleasure to be here tonight. I'm a longtime faculty member at Henry Ford College. I started here in 1905. I look pretty good, right, for 1905. I've been here, I started as an adjunct in the early to mid 2000s. I'm now a full-time faculty member. This is a special school. This is a school where, and I'm not saying this out of prepared remarks, I'm saying this out of my heart. This is a school where faculty members work very, very hard to take student needs into account in a real way, in a sincere way. I have served on search committees at this school before, not this one, but others. I have been part of search committees at UCLA where I was a graduate student and other schools. I have led search committees. I've been a member on search committees. And what I would say to you is that search committee members are human, and it's fair for people to ask questions if questions need to be asked about process, right? It's fair. At the same time, it's also fair to trust the integrity of the faculty members here because the faculty members work very, very hard to, when it's necessary, to develop criteria, or perhaps in this case to follow criteria set by the firm. I was not part of the process. I'm speaking as a faculty member. In the search committees I've served on, we work very, very hard to stick to objective criteria. We discuss those criteria between each other, and we seek to end up with the most qualified candidate. I won't even tell you the number of applications sitting on my desk as chair of the humanities department here at Henry Ford College. A couple hundred. And I will tell you from my experience in going through applications of candidates that sometimes very highly qualified people don't make the final cut. It depends on the criteria, it depends on how they present when they are interviewed. There are many, many factors. And I don't say any of this to downplay anything that another person tonight has said, as I respect what has been said. I'm simply saying that there's a space for trust in a faculty that works very, very hard to serve the students. And I also would encourage the board to listen to the comments that request for a level of integrity. And I don't say this to belittle, to shame, or anything like that. I say this because the candidates are putting their other jobs at risk by coming here and applying, and for their safety and the safety of their job and their families. Confidentiality is very important. So with respect, I say thank you for allowing me to speak, and those are my remarks.
Thank you so much. Any other,
No, that's all the blue cards we have, Chair.
any comments from the board?
Yeah.
Trustees there?
So any questions that, I appreciate everybody coming up. Any questions that I want to have answered have nothing to do with the hard work of everybody that served on the committee, the integrity of people that worked on the committee, whether or not they followed, their heart and their conscience. It's simply about whether or not things that should have been done with transparency were done without transparency. That's all. And these are legal questions that I would like to answer. Has nothing to do with whether or not the committee did great work, worked hard. It has to do with whether or not things in the process or parts of the process that should have been done inside the scope of the Open Meetings Act or some other law might have been done outside of it. That's all. And we're trying to answer that question. And it has nothing to do with the integrity or the hard work of people that worked on the committee. And yes, we do have the final say. And so I think it's up to us to wrestle with that question, if we're doing our responsibility correctly, to wrestle with that question and answer it clearly, and then move on from there.
I do want to say something. And first of all, I want to thank the advisory committee. I see some of the faces. I think getting to know them, amazing group of people, very talented, very diverse in so many different ways. Skill set, knowledge. I learned a lot from the advisory committee. We worked really hard. I mean, they gave up a lot of their times. If you look at 120 resumes of people that are highly qualified, I'm talking about some of them have 22 pages of resumes to read. And the time and effort that these people in our committee put together as an advisory committee, spending 2 days, Friday and Saturday, taking their weekend and spending it reviewing and interviewing candidates. I have so much of an appreciation for the committee. I did before, but after meeting them, it's much more appreciation, and thank you so much. When we say we're not questioning the committee's integrity, we are. Let's not sugarcoat it. If we were to add candidates that people want, we would not have this problem. So what we're doing is really questioning the process because we're not able to get the candidates that we want. It's really important to be transparent and not go into private sessions and talk about processes and so on. I look at it like, you know, we were looking for the best qualified candidate. I don't care what color, what race. You know, my big, my objective, my personal objective, and the advisory committee's objective is the impact of having the right candidate for our students. Now, you're always going to be subjective, you know, if you have a variety of people. And I saw the faculty, people say the faculties, their opinion differ. You know, I saw with my own eyes where they had different opinions on different people. So I was impressed by that because I learned a lot from them. I learned a lot that they could be objective. Remember, these are highly educated people that are not going to be easily influenced by anybody. So I have a huge respect for them. We went through the process, and yes, a candidate was added recently, but they were added, and we respected that a candidate was added because we're an advisory committee. We have no binding authority to say yes or no. As a board member, I was not happy with it, and I voted against it. But the group, as a majority, decided to add someone. We have to respect that. That is our role as advisory. But as a board member, because I'm wearing two hats, I'm on the advisory, and even though I did not like that they added somebody, but I have to respect their power to add someone. So we have to accept that. As far as the newspaper, and you know, I feel like the Arab American News is becoming our official newspaper for the college for the search. And we have unofficial correspondence here for them. That's really disgusting. And I wasn't surprised by what was on in the paper. People shared it to me. I already seen trustees send that same content for the most part to me as the chair. So I wasn't surprised. The content that was printed is the same content that I seen for the most part. It's really disgusting that we cannot respect the confidentiality. Is people that as human beings, you know, we're impacting candidates' life. If somebody, there was a situation that I read about where somebody lost their job, not the candidates that we have, they lost their job because their name was divulged. So when we say we're not attacking the integrity, yes, we are. But the question that I have to my colleagues, why are we going through this? Are we looking for loopholes? Are we looking for ways to dismantle the process because we have ulterior motives? We have an objective to get people in. Let's be honest, you know, and if the candidate that we're trying to push is someone that's qualified, let's be very candid. Let's not use, I'm not a lawyer, and thank you to ChatGPT. I think I've learned a lot, and I tell people I might take the bar after this. But in saying that, let's not sugarcoat it. Let's not use the legal jargons. Let's be very candid. What is our ulterior motive? Why are we doing this? What are we trying to do? It's like playing soccer, and if things don't go your way, you want to take the ball and go home. I feel disrespected as an advisory member, and I feel ashamed as a board member. Trustee Petrikov.
I was also on the advisory committee. I was also on the search firm committee as well. So I've been in this for the long haul of this particular process, and I've been on the board since 2008, and I've served under other presidential searches as well. So I'm very familiar with this. One, it's disappointing. We had a conversation several months ago when a trustee was uncomfortable with signing the confidentiality agreement as it stood, and he questioned some of the verbiage in it. And at that time, conversation was, well, what are you going to do if anybody breaks it? And we knew that there wasn't any real teeth in it to the extent of character matters, ethics matters, integrity matters, and we had hoped that the people that were selected to serve understood and would uphold that. So when the leaking occurred, both the first and second time, not only did it impart a sense of mistrust of the process that we were utilizing, it also scared off candidates. Quite frankly, we lost 2 who were well-qualified candidates who withdrew from the process because of it, I'm assuming, because of the timing of when they withdrew. Whenever you have this occurrence of uncertainty that you are going to be respected, it does damage the reputation of our community, of our college, and of anybody who is considering stepping into that role that is already going to be a challenge and a difficulty. And to make this assumption that something was untoward in the way it was managed or handled, and then to find a way to either insert doubt from the community that something was done even inadvertently wrong, that would then call into question every decision made by that advisory committee, is a disservice to this college and to everybody in this community who is looking to come here in the future. Because we don't serve Dearborn, we serve the metropolitan area. We have students coming from Westland, we have students coming from downriver, we have students coming from Detroit. And our obligation is to every single one of those students. We have staff who also are diversified and exemplify that. We had a task that was extraordinary, and it's not easy, and everybody had robust conversations and different opinions and saw different things in a different light. But at the end of the day, nobody on that advisory committee did it without integrity or ethics, except for whoever was the leaker. And that's the unfortunate reality we're having to face right now. But I hope that my fellow board members understand that our responsibility is not to an agenda or a single-minded purpose, but to serve the community of Henry Ford College. And that's what I'm sitting here doing tonight.
Just one point to add, and I'm glad my trustee colleague mentioned that. The trustees sitting here need to look at themselves and question themselves and ask themselves, you know, what does integrity mean? You know, how do we protect the integrity of the college? So I asked all of us here to look at our, you know, obviously there's going to be elections, and those elections, I understand there's organization pushing, saying that they will not endorse you if you vote this way. But remember, there are people out here in the community will not vote if they question your integrity. I feel that we have a good group of people, but if our integrity is in question, then nobody deserves to be up here. So I ask the community to listen and pay attention and see how people act when there's pressure, when people are pressuring them and trying to bully them. There's a bully tactic right now happening. So I ask my trustee colleagues to not let that sway them and do what's right, because at the end of the day, we swore an oath. So, thank you. Anybody else want to say something? Trustee Besby.
You know, I just want to say, throughout this whole process, any decision that I have made has not been because of pressure from any group or any person. The integrity of Henry Ford College before I joined the board and now on the board means a lot. It's a pride point for our community. It's a pride point for our young students. who come here. We say it as a point of pride. The parents say it as a point of pride because it is an institution with integrity. And I have made all of my decisions based on what I think is best moving forward, not because of any pressure from anybody or any group or any consequence. I want to do what's best for Henry Ford College, what's best for the office of the presidency, and for whoever ends up in that position, because we need to make sure that there is integrity with HFC, there's integrity with that office, so when that person goes out there and has to make decisions on behalf of our college, they do that without any question about how they were put there. And so I just want to be on the record, every decision that I have made on my own, of my own decision making.
Anybody else? Trustee Mazza and then Trustee Zar.
Feels like now we have to speak, but it's, I concur with Trustee Bazzi. All the decisions that I make here are based on my own conscience and my own research. Somebody who has ran for this position 3 times and lost twice. I don't feel any pressure from any outside organizations about my future seat if I decide to run this year. So putting a cast on that is not appreciated. But having said that, I would like to also thank all of the advisory committee members for their work. I had the opportunity to watch the finalist or the semifinalist interviews on Friday, skim through them. I didn't watch the whole thing because I would sit there for 9 hours. So, but I felt very comfortable looking at the questions back and forth between the candidates and the committees. And once again, I said this last time, whomever that person who leaked the list again to the paper is very, very dishonest. And I hope the college will one day figure out who it is, because if they were affiliated with the college, they should be definitely reprimanded for the act, the dishonest act that they had and violating the honor code that we all signed. Thank you.
Trustee Subhan and Trustee.
Good evening, everyone. I had prepared something. I'm going to try to get through it. I'm losing my voice, so if I squeak, please forgive me. You can laugh, it's okay. But good evening, everyone. First and foremost, I would like to thank the advisory committee for investing significant time and effort into this search and for providing your recommendations through both rounds to this board. That is greatly appreciated, and if we have not said it enough, I'd like to echo that one more time. Next, I want to quickly address the issue of the leak of candidate information and names. This breach of confidentiality was a serious violation of trust and professionalism. Confidentiality is essential to the credibility of this institution and to those that entrusted us with that responsibility and with that information. Protecting that trust matters, not just for this process, but for the future of this college, this institution, this community, and most importantly, for the future of our students. There's been a lot of noise surrounding this process, as we've seen and heard, but too many inaccurate statements, a lot of misinformation being thrown around, plenty of unfair assumptions and accusations, and a lot of disregard for each other as human beings. And that really upsets me. All of these issues, though, connect to one central idea and principle, and that is integrity. And I'm so glad to have heard that come up a few times tonight. But we talk about integrity in this process, integrity in the board's role and how we operate, integrity towards the advisory committee, the candidates that applied, the college community, and then obviously our students. And with all of that being said and considered, this is not to defend myself, and please, again, this is not to jump to assumptions, but I want to reiterate that the sole and final responsibility for selecting this next president lies within this board here. Our exercising of our independent judgment throughout this process, whether it be through beginning of the process to help, select the search criteria, the procedural issues, the ability to add a candidate later on, and then also our, our power and responsibility to review all the candidates, all the applications, all the material, even asking questions. All of that stuff is within our purview, and it's not because we are questioning. It is not a sign of disrespect to the committee, and it's not the assumed result of outside or inside pressure from anybody. That is our duty, and we are just following our duty. I would not be a good board member here today if I did not ask those questions, if I did not step in when I thought it was necessary. So I'll reiterate that. The assumptions, they're hard to hear sometimes. The accusations are difficult. I know emotions are running high from everybody. Excuse me. But, I would like to clarify this now, and, I appreciate moving forward that we move with integrity, just as we expect our students to, just as this candidate that we're looking to fill this role with, has that same integrity. If we cannot do that ourselves, how do we expect somebody to fill that seat and operate in even better fashion? With all that, after reviewing all the material, the process, I did my due diligence, as I hope the rest of the board members did. I can confidently say that I'm very confident in this process and everything that transpired. I do not have any questions or issues that remain. We've respected the advisory committee's recommendations. We also have exercised our own independent authority as we're able to do so. Both of these things can and do coexist, and they do not need to be mutually exclusive. And I think we should remember that sometimes. And at this point, I think the most responsible and the fair thing to do is to move forward together in unity. And that's not in spite of anybody, and it's not due to any pressure from anybody. It's solely because it is in the best interest of our students, and that's what we should always focus back on. This college and these students deserve stability, they deserve unity, and above all, you deserve a board that stands firmly in its duty, with diligence, respect, and of course, integrity. And that's what I'm here to offer you today. Thank you very much.
Trustee.
Good evening, everybody. First of all,
You.
I would like to thank our entire committee for all the hard work that they've put into this process. We have processes for reasons, and we need to follow our processes to the end. One of the things that really bothered me, and I was gone, but I got calls every day on vacation about our ethics, trust, and which is very concerning to me. As a board member, I want to do what's best for this board and for this college. That's why I'm on this board. I didn't take this position to be persuaded by someone else outside of this community to do something that is not right for this college. And I feel that the outside pressure at this time from the outside community to move in a different direction than we've been following is not correct. It's not right. We need to stay straight and do the right things, to hire the right person for this college. And that is our job as board members. I would like to continue and follow this process tonight without any wavering changes. I think we need to go straight forward and do the things that we need to do for this college today. Thank you.
So I do want to clarify something. There is external pressure, but it does not mean the trustees have followed that pressure. This is a warning to, I think the one thing that I would ask the trustees, that what people are trying to do. They're trying to push candidates that's not on the list. And you have been confided in that, in my opinion. And the motive, what's going on here. When we see legal documents to question the process, to put it in a newspaper, same documents that we received. If you know what's going on, then you should not let it continue. I feel like, and I'm going to be really candid and speak from the heart, I feel like during this whole process, a lot of the board members have been watching. And it's kind of like, okay, you have one person pushing and one person standing. And with the help of Mary, me and Mary, but the rest of the board know what's going on. Maybe their intention is they're going to come here today and do the right thing. So I'm not questioning them. But I felt like people see what's happening, they know what's happening, and they're watching. The integrity of the college, the reputation, we have to protect the institution. This institution has built its reputation for a long time. So for me, when I see the trustees just watching, that really breaks my heart, because it's obvious that there is some ulterior motive going on to get candidates that were not chosen. I'm not questioning the candidates that were not chosen. They were not chosen. We cannot dismantle the process because people didn't get their way. And I'm going to say this. The trustees know what's going on, but they're just watching because nobody wants to pick a fight. To me, don't let people bully you into doing things. Speak up, and people will respect you. They have not done anything wrong, but they're watching. And I want them to get out of their comfort zone and really defend the process. So anybody else wants to talk?
Chair Al-Jahmi, if I may, I believe the time for us to talk or to speak is on this table. I have not made any statements online or outside this board table about this process. People who have reached out to me, I have been very candid with them as far as respecting the process. So to say that we're just watching is not an accurate statement from my end. I have been very supportive, as I can speak for myself. I would like this process to move forward. Last time there was a suggestion to dismantle the process, and I went on the record here to say that we're not going to dismantle the process. I don't think, even with some shortcomings, we can correct those, and we did. I felt like we did. So to say that we were just watching, I don't think it was accurate.
It's definitely my opinion, and I
Sure,
respect
sure.
your opinion.
We can-
I think we have to move on. So right now, what's the next step? And this is where people prove themselves by doing the right thing. Trustee D'Ambrosio.
I think we should move forward and take the vote on continuing our process and move forward.
Now, I have to ask Erin, she's here somewhere. Oh, here you are. I wasn't, this is an explanation to the board. We added the closed session in the agenda, and I know the last time the board felt like it should not be here, but Erin had recommended it be here. For me, I felt like that we should only have an item for a closed session only if it's motioned by the board trustees. But maybe you had a reason for doing that. But if not, we could go into the motion to accept the recommendations. Any thoughts?
Sure. Thank you, Board Chair, and to all the trustees for your comments this evening. I have prepared two legal opinions for you, two written legal opinions for your review. We may enter into closed session if you all vote to do so under MCL 15.268 subsection 1H.
Do we need to go into a closed session is it needed, or can the public hear what your finding is?
I will give my legal advice as to these memorandums in closed session. It's my preference to do that to protect attorney-client privilege. If the board believes it can discuss matters of process without my legal opinion, you all are free to do so. If there are outstanding legal questions that any of you have, my memorandums may answer those questions.
Okay, so this is to discuss your legal finding or to present your legal finding.
Correct.
I would ask that if we go into closed session, that we don't discuss anything to do with process or deliberate or do anything that goes outside the legal advice. Is that fair?
That is fair. That is fair.
Okay. So, go ahead.
Just a question, just a point of clarification. So are we asking now under subsection H or subsection F, because both are here?
So both were provided on the agenda based upon my recommendation in case that's what the board wanted to do. In terms of my legal opinion, will fall under subsection H.
And, sorry, I have a question too. if I may.
Go ahead, please.
When, I think I can ask this question. If, I know the chair just said we shouldn't discuss anything about process if we have a closed session with you about a legal opinion, but the legal opinion may have to do with process, right? In
Yeah.
which case, of course, we'd have to discuss that.
Yes, and if I heard Board Chair correctly, his exception was to things that would be outside of my legal opinion.
Outside of it, okay.
Is that correct,
Yes,
Board Chair?
that's
Thank you.
correct. I just want to make sure that anything for transparency, that we don't discuss anything in the, outside your legal opinion. We don't digress, and I know you'll keep us honest, but I just want to make sure that the public needs to know what we're discussing. Okay,
Thank you.
so, go ahead.
So I'll make a motion for, that we enter a closed session per MCL 15268-1H to consider material exempt from discussion or disclosure by state or federal statute.
So you're eliminating the second part of.
Yeah, to me, that's not, I don't need to discuss that.
Which everybody that understands, we don't discuss anything to do with.
Sure, so right, so then I'll be clear. This motion is to consider material exempt from discussion or disclosure by state or federal statute, like a legal opinion, not to consider the contents of an application for employment. So under section H only.
There's a motion on the table.
I will second.
Who did,
Second,
you did?
yeah.
There's a second. All right, roll call.
Trustee Bazey.
Yes.
Trustee D'Ambrosio.
Yes.
Trustee Moses.
Yes.
Trustee Pelichkov.
Yes.
Trustee Subah.
Yes.
Trustee Zahar, yes. Chair Al-Jahmi.
Yes.
Okay, that's 7-0.
All right, we're going to resume the special meeting. So, go ahead.
Sure.
Trustee Sue.
So we are going to amend the agenda to add an item. So I'd like to put a motion on the table to include an agenda item for discussion and vote on potential OMA issues during the HFC presidential search process.
I'll second it. Okay, do we do a roll call on it?
Wait, so I have a point of inquiry. What's the motion again?
Discussion and vote on potential OMA issues during the presidential search process.
Oh, just a
Curing
motion
some-
to add that to the
Cure-
agenda?
yeah.
Okay, got it. Right, okay, sorry.
So let's.
It's not a
do-
motion to do anything
Sure.
other than add it to the agenda.
Correct.
Got it.
Yeah, we're amending the agenda right
To
now.
include it, yes.
So could we do a
Do we
roll
need a
call?
roll call for that?
Yeah, please.
Okay. Trustee Bazey.
Yes.
Trustee D'Ambrosio.
Yes.
Trustee Moses.
Yes.
Trustee Pelichkov.
Yes.
Trustee Subah.
Yes.
Trustee Zahar, yes. Chair Al-Jahmi.
Yes.
Okay, the agenda item is added.
Okay. Do you want to go ahead and tackle that?
Yes. Do you want to give a,
A brief explanation.
yes.
So I know our legal counsel is over here. So we talked about some of the OMA, and we talked about some of the issues with regard to, that was brought up from Pine Brooks to other things. And for the most part, we found that the advisory committee did follow the Open Meeting Act. There's a few points that could be cured, and they're going to be brought up, in saying they could be cured, meaning we could do a motion to accept them and move on based on if there is any majority vote. So Trustee Subh will will bring up each item, but as I said, for the most part, we did follow with the exception of these items that need to be cured.
Yep, so I'm going to go through a list, and I will open the first one up for discussion. I'll start with the hopefully low-hanging fruit. the method of holding interviews with the search committee being in person versus asynchronously.
And I could talk to that one. This was brought up in the last meeting, and the group did agree to, the advisory committee followed the recommendation of the board. And the last board meeting, we actually discussed, do we need to do a motion on it? And the group said no, we could move on. So really, right now, it's more formalities to accept that and to do a motion for that, right?
So I move that we accept the recommendation of holding the semifinalist interviews in person for the advisory committee members.
Okay,
I'll
motion
support
by
it.
Bazey, supported by D'Ambrosio. Do we do a roll call on each one of them?
Sure, we can. Trustee Bazey?
Yes.
Trustee D'Ambrosio?
Yes.
Trustee Mosib?
Yes.
Trustee Pelichkov?
Yes.
Trustee Subuh?
Yes.
Trustee Zahar, yes. Trustee Al-Jahmi?
Yes. Okay, the next item?
The next item will be the decision for trustees to view candidate interviews in the presence of the college's search liaison or a member of HR that must be discussed in an open meeting.
Okay, so initially, under normal processes, there's no Zoom recording provided. Under the guidance and the direction of the board recommended that we record the interviews. And given that, following the direction of the board, we made the recording were made available, but with the oversight of HR or Ms. Davis. And this is to protect the candidates. So based on the breach that has happened, to make sure that no videos are shared or leaked, but it was given access to the trustees, and some of them took advantage of it, and were able to view all the interviews.
Yeah, and I'll add a little bit to that. This was a request I made, I'm not sure if anyone else had made, back in December, to have those recorded so that the rest of us trustees can have access to them and review them before we make final decisions, so that we can make an informed decision. Due to, circumstances, the way this worked out over the last week or so, I believe, we coordinated times, whoever, was able to and wanted to, coordinated times to go in and watch these videos. So I quite literally walked in and watched 5, 6, 7 hours worth of videos and interviews in a room with HR. So I was thankful for the opportunity, at least considering the circumstances. I don't have any other issues or questions, but I, love to open that for discussion.
Oh, Trustee Bazey?
I just wanted to say thank you to the HR department and Tracy for making themselves available so that we can watch those. I know that I had to come in and different times, make it work on my schedule to be able to watch those, and I think it was very enlightening to be able to watch those videos and continue to be informed as we make those decisions. So thank you very much, Tracy, and thank you. Please send our thanks to the HR department for being flexible with us.
And what time did you come to watch them?
7
a.m. one day, and then I came later again on a Friday. Yeah. But thank you, Tracy.
So I move that we approve the way we asked the interviews to be recorded and viewed for trustees until the 27th of February.
Okay, any second?
I support.
Are we talking about a different issue? Sorry, I thought we were talking about the issue of,
Yeah, did we get that one on there?
I think we're still on the issue of
Watching in front of.
Watching the.
watching them in
in
the
front of
presence of
HR.
HR.
Watching in front of HR?
Yeah, we haven't
Okay.
finished that issue yet. Yeah, and so
Oh,
so just so everyone is clear, this issue came up because, yes, as a board, we decided that those interviews should be recorded for us, because as trustees, obviously, we should have access to all of the information all the time. Subsequently, the subcommittee made a decision on its own to limit our access to those interviews in both manner and time, without it being taken and approved by the whole board. So that's the issue that happened. To me, that's improper. So things like that have to be decided. Things like that have to be decided by the whole board. A committee cannot simply make a decision on how all the trustees can, the manner and time and place of how trustees can view something if they've already decided that we get to, as a collective, we've decided that we get to view these things. So I'm trying to understand. So for instance, I didn't have a chance. I was busy during the day, most of the days last week, and I had objected to this idea of being supervised as trustees when we watch these things. So is the effect of this motion going to be that that's it, it's over? No trustees can go back and watch them anymore? I'm just trying to
Sorry.
understand.
Sure, and that's a good point. The next point is that one is so the determination of when those are available and when we can watch them. That's a separate issue. Technically, we could put them together, but that is definitely something that we need to discuss.
Yeah, I mean, I'm against the idea of us having to, again, be nothing against HR had nothing to do with this decision. I'm against the notion that we have to be sort of handheld or babysat watching interviews that we should have access to. I mean, why not just tell us whenever we log into a portal to look at a resume, we got to do it in front of HR? I mean, so I'm kind of against that idea that the 7 of us who are all duly seated on this board should have any restrictions on us on how we view materials.
Okay. Trustee Petlicoff?
Okay, there's a couple of points of why the decision was made. One, we just had the interviews the past weekend, and we went for the week in between for the recordings that was requested at the most recent board meeting, without more details at that moment as to how we would provide them, but we wanted to accommodate the request for recording the interviews and providing access, but we knew we were going to have this meeting, a special meeting on Monday, because Academic Search was very concerned that we were leaving too much of a gap of time of approving finalists, and that candidates start to get antsy and will drop off if they haven't heard back one way or the other and the board hasn't made a decision. So we only had a narrow window of time from when the request was made by the board to record the interviews and allow them access to them, to the dates that we did the actual interviews, which was last weekend. So this past week was the only available time, because we had this meeting today that was asked for by Academic Search to be sure that they could inform the finalists that they were passed through in a timely manner, because we also have a schedule for when they're to come on campus and be interviewed. So that's why the time frame exists. The deal with having sitting in HR is no different than when we request access for personnel files. That is the exact same process that is used when we want to review a personnel file of an employee. We are required to sit there with an HR person there. They're because of the privacy and confidentiality of it. So this is really no different. And yes, Academic Search was especially nervous because of the breach that occurred. And now clearly they had reason to be, because a second breach occurred subsequent to that. So I'm not certain why you can't understand, and nobody else had any issues with somebody sitting in the back of the room while you review.
No, that's not my issue.
Okay.
My issue is that if we had all decided on that together, then okay. And if I got outvoted, okay.
It was a time thing. We weren't together as a board
Yes,
from
but
the
it-
Friday and
Well-
Saturday weekend to allowing you access in time.
Yeah, I wish you would do that before you answer, but I do want to say something since to support Trustee Petlicoff. Academic Search, they hired they're trying to protect these candidates. And given that there's 2 breaches, first the advisory board breach, and then trustee breach with the recent, in my opinion, they were protecting their candidates.
What trustee breach? You said trustee breach?
Well, the recent breach, disregard the trustees, misspoke. So they're protecting the candidates, and just like my colleague said, it's just like an HR personnel file. You want people to be there is they protect the candidates from being, from the recording being shared all over the internet. This could destroy somebody's current job situation, their reputation. So everyone accepted it and did it willingly, coming at 7 a.m. You refused to come. You said you were traveling and you ended up being here. People looked at the application. I don't know how many applications you looked at. I'm not sure what you're looking for, but this was a way to accommodate the trustees to be able to see the interviews, but at the same time to protect the confidentiality of the candidates. Go ahead, trustee.
So with the issue of personnel files, obviously that's an established policy and procedure already set by the board. This was not an established policy or procedure set by the board. This was set by a committee that doesn't have the power to go and make those decisions on its own. So that's the issue here. The second issue is, okay, if you want to make the argument now, retroactively, that that's okay, or you want to make the argument that that should be the policy, that's fine. Then there should be given more time for people to go and look at it, since it might not have fit everyone's schedule to come in during business hours to watch 10 hours of interviews last week. That's number one. Number two, I would like to hear some sort of acknowledgement that that was improper to make that decision. It's something that has to come to.
We are curing it now.
Yeah.
That's the point.
That's
to-
the point.
And also, why just the video? I mean, why not everything? Why not their resume and their packet? Like, why just the video? That's, to me, it just, the whole thing doesn't make much sense. We have an online portal, which we trustees have access to, and we already agreed, I think a couple weeks ago, in an open meeting, that we would have access to all the applications till the end of the process. And so I don't understand why, as trustees, obviously we are bound by whether it's confidentiality assured by the search firm or whatever. Yeah, obviously if somebody shared a video, that would be improper, but we don't need to be babysat. That's my point here.
So could you guarantee that it would not be shared?
You can't guarantee anything, but that's not, you can't even guarantee it's not shared if you watch it inside. Someone could record have their phone and be recording the sound of it.
Trustees could you guarantee that none of the trustees will share the videos?
I can guarantee I won't. I can't guarantee anything for anybody. Of course I can't guarantee that. But again, the point is, I think that we're all duly seated and we have.
But we haven't been acted in a way that we're duly seated, so you need to.
Well, again, you're assuming that all these leaks, again, you keep pointing at me, but you're assuming these leaks come from trustees. There hasn't been any evidence of that. And also, again, we are statutorily given these privileges and duties. To me, if it would have been brought up a couple weeks ago and it was decided on, okay, now that we are going back and curing it, to me, part of the cure would be, like, let's give ourselves a little more time then to go look at them for people who couldn't come in last week during business hours. And we've sort of now are admitting that the decision was made improperly. That's why we're curing it, right? The decision was made improperly.
No, let's not,
yeah,
because we
that
have,
isn't how.
likely is.
Okay, the decision was likely made improperly, if that's better. The decision was likely made improperly. That's why we're curing it under the OMA. So to me, part of the cure would be, okay, then to me, I'd like it to result in there's no limits on the manner and time and place on which we can watch these things, so that if someone is nocturnal like me, they can watch them in the middle of the night and do their due diligence. So that's my point of view on that.
So wait.
Yeah.
Trustee Czar, you were here today talking to people. You made yourself available to show up to the college, but you refused to watch the videos, but you're looking for a way to discredit what we've done.
I didn't refuse.
Aaron, if I could ask Aaron to come up, because right now this becomes the risk to the candidate. So I personally cannot guarantee that the trustees here as a whole will keep the confidence of the interview. So we need your opinion on how we should handle the videos, because it creates a privacy issue and a confidentiality issue, which has been breached twice.
So I hesitate to give legal opinion on this issue for a couple of reasons. One, it is presented to me less than a legal question than a call for a direction. But what you all are doing now in discussing this is part of the decision-making process. So you all have a motion on the floor, and any number of you could call the question
I did
and take
call
a
the
vote.
question.
Okay.
Let's vote.
Let's vote. So we had a motion, who did we
You
have?
want to
Okay.
repeat the motion again?
I
please?
made a motion to accept the
No, I thought we're on,
vote.
I thought we're on trustee Subha's motion still.
Is it your
Correct?
motion?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
The decision for trustees to view candidate interviews in the presence of the college's search liaison or a member of human resources.
So just to be clear to everybody, you're making a motion that we trustees can only view the videos of the semifinalist interviews in the presence of HR staff here.
Yes.
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 Are you
Any-
putting a
Okay.
sunset date? or-
That was, I was going to
That'd be
ask,
the
is there any?
Mary is supporting
I'm
that.
supporting it, yes.
We had a discussion already on it, so now we do roll call, right?
Is it too late to make an amendment? as
No, it's
far as
not.
sunset?
No. Would you
The
be open
person
to
make
an,
the amendment, though, has to be the person who,
well, you can ask them if they're open
Trustee-
to an
Yeah,
amendment.
trustee Sober.
yeah.
Sure.
Can we amend your motion to sunset the videos by the 27th of February?
You want to combine the two.
Yeah.
When you say sunset,
Means
To-
we already
to
have
close-
this opportunity.
close
close it,
the
got it.
Yeah.
viewing.
Can you repeat
Yeah.
the date, March 27th?
No, not March.
February.
27th, last Friday.
Well,
How can we make a motion to do something retro? Yeah.
keep
So
them
they're,
separate.
We're
they're two
reenacting.
separate issues.
Then
Because
I'll
if you
withdraw
have-
my
if-
amendment.
Okay.
Let's make it
Okay.
easy.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yep.
So, motion on the table.
all right,
I
supported
second
by Petlicoff, so roll call.
Trustee Bazey?
Yes.
Trustee D'Ambrosio?
Yes.
Trustee Moses?
Yes.
Trustee Petlicoff?
Yes.
Trustee Subha?
Yes.
Trustee Zahar, no. Trustee Al-Jahmi?
Yes.
6-1.
Do you want to say everyone's up next?
Choose it to sunset?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. A motion to sunset those videos or to be viewed by trustees by February 27th.
I'll second.
So trustee Maz's motion, and the second is you, Petlicoff is the second.
So point of inquiry, is that a proper motion to
Retroactive.
make a motion that ends in the past?
We're reenacting, right?
I mean,
Counsel?
You are reenacting a decision that has been made in order to cure any violation of or potential violation of the OMA. But I will note that there is a question to the search firm as to the availability of that information. And Ms. Davis? Okay, so this particular issue of access ending on February 27th, which is a date in the past, may be moot if that access is still available now. You could then vote, if you wanted to, on a
To
secondary,
end the access.
correct, on whatever
With no
date
date, yeah.
or whatever you all decide, based on your motion.
I would do the motion to end access with a specific date, right?
I'll accept that amendment.
Okay. Any discussions? Trustee Zach?
so again, now we're making a motion to cut off trustees' access to the semifinalist video interviews, which we all agreed that we would have access to a couple weeks ago. And then again, a decision was made by a subcommittee that should have been made in the committee of the whole to end the access to those things on February 27th, improperly in my opinion. And now we are talking about cutting off the access to those videos. I'm going to be a major no on this. Again, as trustees, duly seated by statute, we should have access to all the materials all the time. You've now made a motion and passed that we have to do it in front of HR. I don't know why there would still be a motion that we have to cut them off that doesn't make much sense to me at all. I think that we as trustees should have access to these things. What if a candidate that we interview in the finalist process says something that some of us remember to be totally different than something they said in the semifinalist interview? We should be able to refer back to materials at any time in this process, whether it's their resume or their interview, or, I mean, are you in favor of cutting off everything? Their resume too? We can't look at anything anymore? I mean, it doesn't make much sense to me. We should be able, as trustees who are making informed decisions, to look at the candidates' materials fully through the whole process until we select somebody. So I just think this is really ridiculous that we're curing the problem of it being decided perhaps improperly under the OMA, but that doesn't mean we have to replicate the decision. We can make a new decision that says we should have access to these things. So I would ask to amend the motion to say that we should have access to the full candidate's file, and we've already decided, I guess, that the videos have to be done in view of HR until the end of this process.
That's fine.
I have no problem with
I'm
that.
okay with that.
Say that again.
Oh.
Colette?
I'm okay with keeping the videos
Okay,
of the interviews.
all right, so you accept that amendment?
I'll accept that, man.
Okay.
But does it entail having HR in there?
Yes.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was
we already
decided on
passed
second.
Yeah, we already
passed
passed
that.
I agree with that too.
Okay.
Okay, so what's the motion now, just so it's clear to
So
everybody?
the motion is to keep those videos viewable for trustees with HR.
Until-
Until
Until
a
the-
president
Is
is
appointed
appointed.
until the end of the process.
Is this also conditioned on or contingent on the actual availability of the video? Like,
Yeah,
do we actually
academic
have-
search owns the video.
Yeah, they own the video, so.
Guys, we own everything.
Well,
No,
sure, but they-
academic
they have
search,
it. I don't know
point
what-
of clarification, through the chair, academic search maintains the applicant's materials, including the interview. It's not kept in the possession of HFC.
Exactly. And I think that's
Yes,
what
but
was
they
meant
belong to
by
us.
own the videos,
Yes.
because they're at their possession, they're at their server. So we don't have, Tracy is behind the podium, so we're going to need help with discussing that with the academic search to make sure that they're available. Go ahead, trustee Zach.
So I guess if we pass this motion of that we're saying that we want to have access to the videos till the end of the process, then I guess it'll be up to Ms. Davis to either see if they're still available now, just keep them available. If they're not available, remake them available, whatever. That'll be up to her to facilitate, or the subcommittee to facilitate with the search firm. But we're just making the decision that they should be made available to us until the end of the process.
And point of order, it's 9:30 when we're supposed to
Okay.
call for extension of the
So could
meeting.
we do
I'll make a motion to extend can it only be done in 15-minute increments?
Yes.
Can I make a motion to extend the meeting for 15 minutes?
Second.
Trustee Bazzi.
Yes.
Trustee D'Ambrosio.
Yes.
Trustee Moses.
Yes.
Trustee Pelichkov.
Yes.
Trustee Subah.
Yes.
Trustee Zahar. Yes, sorry, Trustee Al-Jahmi.
yes.
So if we pass this motion, then if they're still available, then they stay available. If they're not available, then they go make them available, whatever. So we don't have to worry about the logistics of it right now.
They'll be
We're
there.
just directing them to do it.
So
Aaron?
based on the information I've been provided, the request that the interviews remain available to trustees has been submitted to academic search, and we are waiting a response from them.
Okay.
Yeah,
I assume
so
they can do it.
it's contingent on,
The
because we-
availability if they have not been deleted.
yeah, that's what I want to make sure, because we cannot control what they have done, if they have done anything, since we're not in possession of them.
Did-
But we have made the request, to your point, because just for sake of time, we would like to have them available, as you requested.
Just a point of inquiry, did the subcommittee who made this decision on their own, did they direct academic
No.
search to delete them?
No.
No.
Just want to make sure, I just want to make
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, These questions are too legal.
No, I'm saying, why would they delete them?
So, could we do a roll call? We have a motion on the
Is
Yeah,
the
we have a
motion
motion
understood?
second,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
So this is a motion to, that the trustees have access to the videos of the semifinalist interviews until the end of this process. Trustee Bazzi.
Yes.
Trustee D'Ambrosio.
Yes.
Trustee Moses.
Yes.
Trustee Pelichkov.
Yes.
Trustee Subah.
Yes.
Trustee Zahar, yes. Trustee Al-Jahmi.
Yes.
Okay, 7-0.
Moving right along similarly, could have maybe amended this last one, but decisions regarding when other candidate materials are visible or no longer visible to trustees via the search portal. So that would include your resume and letters and et cetera.
Is that?
So really the portal,
Yeah.
the portal. So is it along the same line as the video?
Yeah.
Tracy?
Right now, I still see all 118, so that means that you should still have access to 118
Yeah.
Right.
But I think what we want to make sure, if you could communicate with the academic search,
Through
that
the
they
end of the
keep on.
process.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so let's add that part to it, that we will have, maintain access through the end of the process.
I-
Okay.
Is that a motion? Sorry.
Trustee Bazey?
Just to be clear, when we're defining end of the process,
Well,
President's-
Appointing a president.
Or is it signing a contract?
I would,
No,
don't know. I would think appointing a president.
appointing a president, not the contract.
Yeah. All right. Do we have a motion and a
I
second?
second.
And so could we do roll call if there's no questions?
Sure, so for clarity, what's the motion right now?
that we are going to leave the search portal open with access to the candidate materials until we appoint a president.
For trustees.
For trustees, correct.
Trustee Bazey?
yes.
Trustee D'Ambrosio?
Yes.
Trustee Moses?
Yes.
Trustee Petlicoff?
Yes.
Trustee Subah?
Yes.
Trustee Zahar, yes. Trustee El-Jahmi?
Yes.
Yes, 7-0.
Okay, moving on. The next motion or topic will be the appointment of a search committee member, specifically named, sorry, point of clarification.
Sure, no problem. Through the chair, I believe that the search committee members that were appointed were already published on the website.
Yeah, I don't see
So
that.
in this instance, confidentiality is not an issue, and you could speak about the person or persons who are of concern.
Oh, sure. I think and maybe that wasn't directed towards you then. Open discussion, maybe before I put the motion out, on the most efficient way to do this. I know we had discussion, very open discussion on the community members that we each appointed to the committee. I'm not sure what discussions happened after that as to the rest of the committee members. So we want to make sure that we are transparent about all those the other committee members. So anybody have ideas? There was,
Well, wait a minute, what's the motion? I thought the motion was just.
Well,
I didn't put one
Yes,
down. I'm
another
asking
motion.
what,
We're just
Oh.
discussing an agenda.
Okay.
yeah.
Is the motion for that particular issue, or is it for what was done previously as a board? I think we should focus on you could talk about this is just a suggestion, you could talk about what we did and the way we chose the 25 people.
24, I
24.
think, originally.
Yeah,
And then
well, you could talk about
25.
the final 25, but then you
Oh,
could talk
yeah, yeah.
about specifically on the one item that's in question.
Yep. Do you want to just start with the one item in question?
I would think so. I mean, I'll speak to the 25, the way we selected it. There's a makeup from faculty, from administrators, from P12, and then each committee member chose one person. Initially, it was a makeup of 24 people, and then the city of Dearborn requested that they have a person included in the committee. We made them, we asked of them to write a letter, an official request to add their person. And we, at the P12 meeting, we were able to ratify or approve adding one person, so total 25. I think the question that Trustee Subh, and thank you for taking the lead on this one, is going to talk about is a replacement of one of the committee members. Each trustee had one community member, not committee member. And there's one discussion about a replacement. If you could speak to, you want me to talk about it, or you want to talk about it?
It's up to you.
Go ahead.
Sure. So we're the discussion on the table is about the appointment of a substitute or replacement committee member for one of the trustees' community members that was appointed to the board. This happened, I guess we're giving specifics, on January 14th, 2026?
Yeah, right at, the date of the second meeting was January 13th, and that's when my community member dropped out unexpectedly due to a family issue. When I found out, and we were trying to have an equal representation of community members to staff members, which were 7, to make sure that there was a well-balanced search advisory committee reflecting both the community and the staff, I then asked, and inappropriately, we went ahead and made the decision because the portal was being opened the next day for everybody to start reviewing the resumes. And I asked, could I select somebody else off of the list of applicants to replace the person who I had lost. At that time, I thought I was the only one who had not had representation as a board member. And because of the timing, we didn't even think, we just went ahead and put this person on, and I apologize if that has made some people uncomfortable. The community member was part of the applicant pool, and she was able to seamlessly move into the process because we had only just begun. Now, I will say, in fairness, when we had the conversation about if you missed a meeting, you were done, I reflected what had been past practice only because, but I was not clear that the real intention was that once you started reviewing the applicants, that everybody was reviewed fairly in the applicant pool. The first meeting that was missed by my replacement was an introductory meeting where people just went and introduced themselves and found out about the process and the what direction we were taking and what the time commitment was going to be. So missing that wasn't going to affect the judgment call on any of the applicants because we were just beginning at the second meeting, had been introduced to how to get into the portal and start reviewing resumes. And this person came on right at that moment. So she had not missed any of the vital information that was necessary. And I really didn't make that clear that that was what the intentions were of. If you missed a meeting, then you should not be replaced because you would be without that critical information of the full applicant pool. And that's what the real intention was for that regard. But I admit that we, in our rush, went ahead and did not bring that back to the attention of the full board that replacement had occurred.
And just to add, the person was not a part of the semifinal interviews. She missed one day, and we told her she could not come the next day.
So she never participated
in the finalists. She never participated in the semifinal interview because of her being unavailable for the first day. So she did not participate.
So, any more
Trustee
discussion?
Azar?
Go ahead.
So, just so we're clear on the record of the chronology of this. So, back in October, at our regular meeting, we decided, or we introduced the idea, and it was later confirmed by us, that as part of the 24-member committee, there would be 7 community members, each appointed by a trustee. And in our November meeting, we appointed those people, and that's noted in the minutes of who those people were. So they were appointed on the record.
They were selected. They weren't appointed yet because they hadn't been contacted. I had three
selected.
people who dropped out.
Right. So
because they couldn't attend.
we also never discussed or contemplated a notion of alternates. Like, hey, if my person can't make it, then go call this person. We didn't talk about that at all. Because, again, even from that point, we were contemplating that someone's got to be there from the jump, and if they can't make it, then they're out and they're not replaced. At the December meeting, there was a long discussion in the minutes about someone who cannot attend, will not be allowed to continue as a member, and they can't be replaced because you should be there from A to Z. So, again, the notion of, well, these first meetings weren't that important, that's a new notion. We were being told the whole time that someone's got to be there from the beginning to the end. That was discussed in the meetings, in the minutes as well. This person, and we don't have to say names, because it's not their fault. This person who was eventually appointed in January to the advisory search committee to replace someone else who stopped showing up for valid reasons, should not have been appointed according to what we said in December, that is not allowed to happen. And if they were appointed, it should have been done in an open meeting, not among a few trustees deciding that it's okay. That's not the way we're supposed to conduct business. And in fact, that happened on January 14th, the improper appointment, and the applications had already been open for 3 or 4 weeks, actually. The applications opened around December 20th.
No, we had just had the meeting for how to access the portal on January 13th.
But the applications were open December 20th, right? Something like that?
But we hadn't access to them.
We didn't
Okay.
have him.
So,
Just one note, we're going to get to the 45 minutes, so
you want to make a motion now, it's fine.
yeah, let's do a motion to extend.
I'll make a motion to extend the meeting by 15 minutes.
Trustee Bazey.
I need
Second.
a
Need a
Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
Who's the second?
Go on.
I second.
Trustee Bazey.
Roll call, Trustee Bazey.
Yes.
Trustee D'Ambrosio.
Yes.
Trustee Moses.
Yes.
Trustee Pelichkov.
Yes.
Trustee Subah.
Yes.
Trustee Zahar, yes. Trustee Al-Jahmi.
Yes,
May I continue?
please.
So if, and so this person who was appointed on January 13th, in my view, improperly and outside of our procedures, then, and we weren't informed of it, we actually had a meeting on January 20th. We could have been informed at that time. We weren't. Then that person attended the February 4th meeting where the committee did a lot of important, pretty crucial work in whittling the pool down from 120 to 10 recommended semifinalists. And that person participated in that meeting. And of course, and unfortunately, we don't know what happened in that meeting, because even though we had asked for minutes to be for those meetings, we don't have minutes for those meetings. In my opinion, those meetings should have been open, but that's a different issue. But we don't have any records of those meetings to understand what was the impact of this person who was improperly appointed to the committee. And of course, it added a number. Like by that point, I think the committee had gone down from 24 to 21 or something like that, if I'm correct. And then that person added a number, which then would perhaps change the numbers of the thresholds of somebody that might get through. So to me, it is something that put a little bit of a taint on the process that something like this happened and went through. It has nothing to do with the honesty or integrity of the person who was appointed. They are a great person. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the way it happened, that it was improper and it shouldn't have happened. And we could have been told on it on January 20th. We weren't. I wonder why. And that's my issue with that appointment.
Hold on a second. I think Trustee Bazey.
I just want to make a comment. The advisory committee makes a recommendation, and we oversee what happens. And so I don't believe that if they give a recommendation, they give a recommendation. But the way ultimately it's chosen, rolled down, falls to us.
I'm not saying anything different than that.
Okay, but Trustee Petlakov?
Yeah, and I am concerned about you continue to berate this as being an intentional positioning. I would have had a community member no matter what, because we each got to pick one. I only had one. It isn't like I added somebody additional to my pool of selection. They did their job as would be expected, just like every other search committee member did. It was an unintentional slight that we forgot to come before you because of a timing issue once again, and you are trying to make it into something nefarious, and I'm sorry, but I'm not going to accept that. It was only my intention that every board member had a representative from the community, And that's what I was looking for in order to serve the best interests of the search committee.
I think if I could say, we're going to go back and forth.
Yeah.
Trustees, you made your point.
Well, I have one more thing to say on the record whenever you're done.
Yes, you made your point, and I understand you're looking for, to make it on the record into, as people would say, look for faults for this process. I mean, it's been clear that this is what we're looking for. There is something that happened, and Trustee Petrikov has said what happened and explained. Now you're going to go on a tangent to discredit the advisory, to discredit the process. Some of it you're repeating, and you could go on, and we're going to have to add another 15 minutes. But I understand your end goal. But go ahead and really respond back and forth. At the end of the day, we're going to have to vote as a group and decide. Go ahead.
So the other problem with this, in my point of view, is the issue of fairness as well. So we had another trustee who made an appointment on November 17th, if I have that date right. Yeah, November 17th. And that person's appointee didn't show up to the December 9th first meeting. And as far as I know, that trustee was never reached out to say, hey, would you like to replace this person? That never happened by the committee.
No. To correct the record, I believe we did reach out. We did
Yeah.
have a lot of conversations, but as far as the alternate for that trustee was somebody already serving on the committee.
Which is
Trustee
his-
Bazey can speak to that since it was his pick.
So I'm gonna go through my appointment from A to Z. When we appointed, when we were selecting our committee members, I selected Hussein Hashim. On the document that was provided to us, the link to the bio was for another gentleman with the same name, and that was what my impression was when that was when I selected. When we found out about that before all of this process began, I researched the person. I found they were a civil servant, and I think their voice would be adequate to have on the board. My second, third, and fourth choices were already on the board, and those voices were there. So I was comfortable with that person being on there. I reached out to Tracy and I asked her, have you heard from them? They hadn't at the time. I said, please reach out to them and let's make sure we hear from them by the end of the day. If not, we're gonna have to have a discussion about that. She was able to reach out to them. They got back to her and we said, okay, let's move forward with that person as intended. They accepted the meeting invite for the first meeting and then did not attend the first meeting. Again, what we had agreed upon at the time was if they miss a meeting, then they're done. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with my second, third, and fourth choices being involved in it, and those voices were there, and those are the voices that I wanted. So as it pertains to me and my choices, I'm comfortable with what happened.
And your second choice is right here in the audience, just so that you know. Mohammed over there. So, so in talking to Trustee Bazey, and thank you for explaining it, he was comfortable with the process and had no issues with it. And
my
I'm not
person did show up the first meeting and then had to drop out. I was unaware of what was going on with Trustee Bazey, and I thought I would be the only board member without a representative from the community. So that's why I asked, do you mind if we pick this in, because we haven't started the actual resume process yet.
Sure. And
There was nothing
of course,
untoward about it.
it
my
can
thought
be
process.
unfair and still not untoward. So, for instance, with my appointee, informed the committee, I guess 4 or 5 days before February 20th, the semifinalist days, that she had a death in the family and couldn't make it to both of the days. She was informed that if you can't make it to both of the days, then you can't participate. Okay, we had agreed to that. But
And
no,
mine's the same thing. She didn't make it to the.
right, but nobody,
that-
but the committee
those
never
meetings
reached,
either.
but the committee on a few days before the 20th and 21st didn't reach out to me and
So-
say,
so-
hey, would you like to add somebody else?
Because the
So-
process was already started. You had to be there to see the full interview.
so let's be clear.
But that's not
because-
what we agreed to.
No, let's be clear. The interview process, your person had death in the family and said she couldn't make it.
Yeah.
Then decided that she's going to be able to come to the second day interview. In that case, it's hard for her to assess the candidates that were already interviewed. So for her to give an assessment on who she prefers, she would have missed 4 or 5 candidates, which.
I'm not against her not
I-
being able to come.
Yeah, but you're making a point, and I'm making a point back. Same thing with trustee Petlakov. Her candidate said they could not make it the first day and they want to come the next day. We said no, because it's a different scenario. We have the young man, Adele, over here. He had a family situation and came to the first one, but in fairness to him, missing the next day, he wouldn't have been able to judge all the candidates. So this is a little different scenario, and you're a good lawyer, Amr, but get to the point as far as, I don't want to keep adding minutes right here.
Well, again, the point is that, again, to me, this was, if one trustee is going to be afforded the opportunity to replace someone midway through the process.
It
and
wasn't midway.
On December 15th, the minutes of the meeting said December 15th, on December 15th, if anyone misses a meeting, they're out. There were people who missed the first meeting and then were out. And then on January 14th, you guys appointed somebody who obviously would be missing meetings because they hadn't been to the first couple meetings.
Trustee.
So that's what I think the public should know
You made your
that these things
point,
happen.
like you're repeating. I mean, honest to God, you're repeating the same
So
thing.
I think we're at a
Trustee-
point where we can.
Can we
Yeah.
call the question?
Call the
Is there a
question.
motion on the table?
Yeah, Trustee
Oh,
Bez,
yeah.
you want to say something?
Oh,
during
did
this?
you read the?
I just want to say, I think we're
Not yet.
discussing these events and what happened, and I think Trustee Petroskov has apologized for how it's happened. In my view, does it taint the whole process? I don't think so. And we are right now going through the process to cure that, and I think that's what we're trying to do. Is it a lesson learned? Yep. And we are curing it.
All right, so if no questions, does somebody want to say
We
something?
have
read the
to make
motion.
the motion.
Okay.
Moving to approve the appointment of Search Committee Member Leslie Herrick as Trustee Petliskov's Community Member Representative.
Okay.
Support.
Any second support by Trustee D'Ambrosio? Could we have roll call on that?
Sure. Trustee Bazey?
Yes.
Trustee D'Ambrosio?
Yes.
Trustee Moses?
I'll vote no.
Trustee Petlicoff?
Yes.
Trustee Subah?
Yes.
Trustee Zahar, no. Trustee Al-Jahmi?
Yes.
5-2.
Chair, if I can just comment on my vote, I believe her appointment to the committee at that stage was late and improper, and therefore I voted the way I voted.
You have the right to vote as you would like. I mean,
Just letting the citizens know on how I vote.
okay.
There's one more on the table. Hopefully this is a quick one. This is to approve all advisory search committee members from all the groups outside of the community members that were discussed amongst ourselves and not appointed, but approved that day in December.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
All right, could we, because this is something that we've discussed, we're just trying to make it an official motion.
Yep.
If there's no discussion, could we do a roll call?
Trustee Bazey?
Yes.
Trustee D'Ambrosio?
Yes.
Trustee Moses?
Yes.
Trustee Petlicoff?
Yes.
Trustee Subah?
Yes.
Trustee Zahar, no. Trustee Al-Jahmi?
Yes.
6-1.
Unless anyone has anything else, that would conclude our cure portion of the agenda.
So I think the next item is really to, this is what we came for, is to really approve the candidate. So the way the process is going to work, and thank you, Trustee Bazey, we did a numbering system or a coding system to designate each member. We had a numbering system, but because the numbering system is known, we kind of added an additional layer for privacy. So what we're going to do is mention the actual code, and we're going to motion for it, and then if we need to discuss, so that the candidate move forward.
Do you want to explain that no names will be mentioned tonight? Whoever is voted on and approved to move forward would then have to be contacted? for acceptance. Once they have accepted, then we will reveal the names of those who are the finalists.
So an example, when we were in the portal, for each candidate, they had a number. So let's say, and I'll use a number that doesn't exist, let's say 125. And so we're not using those numbers in the portal because to the advisory committee, we know those numbers, we could refer to them. In saying that, with the help of Trustee Bazey, we gave a number. So the first one is W95, is what you're going to hear. So we need for W95 a motion to accept the recommendation.
I move that W95 is accepted as a finalist for the presidential search.
Second.
Okay, trustee, so second, any, obviously discussion, I saw trustee Zahar raise his hand. Go ahead.
I just want to inform the community that I'll be voting, and I'm not going to be discussing any specifics of anybody personally, but I'll be voting no on all of them because, again, my point of view is that this process of the search committee as a whole, the advisory search committee, should have been done in the open with full transparency. And so just based on that principle, I'll be voting no on everybody. It has nothing to do with the specific qualifications of each candidate, just because that's how I feel about the process.
Okay, any other questions? If no questions, then let's do, and just I want to say this before we do a motion. So all the trustees have had the opportunities to view the Zoom meetings, to view the resumes, to do deliberation, and to make sure that the candidates are viewed. And so if there is no questions right now, it doesn't mean nobody has done their homework. So people have done their homework and they know the candidate and they're able to, but let's do a motion to extend the meeting first.
I'll make a motion to extend the meeting by 15 minutes. And hopefully this is the last one.
Trustee
Okay.
Bazey.
Yes.
Trustee D'Ambrosio.
Yes.
Trustee Moser.
Yes.
Trustee Pelichkov.
Yes.
Trustee Subah.
Yes.
Trustee Zahar, yes. Chair Al-Jahmi.
Yes,
7-0.
all right. So let's do a roll call for,
Chair,
No,
I just have a question as far as once we select those candidates and they're called and they accept those the invitation to be a finalist and they're announced, then are they invited to come to campus to be interviewed?
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then they have the interview also with the community?
They'll have the
and-
meet and
the
greets
meet and
on
greet.
campus.
All five
yes.
of
So
them, correct?
Yes.
tentatively, it's week of March 23rd, and we picked that deliberately because there was spring breaks and there was, holidays, and so week of the 23rd is the tentative, and I say tentative date. But there's a goal of meet and greet and then in-person interview.
Okay.
Okay, so roll call for W95?
Trustee Bazey.
Yes.
Trustee D'Ambrosio.
Yes.
Trustee Moser.
Yes.
Trustee Pelichkov.
Yes.
Trustee Subah.
Yes.
Trustee Zahar, no. Chair Al-Jahmi.
Yes.
6-1.
Okay, so we need a motion for L88.
I make a motion.
To move L8, say the,
Yeah,
I make a motion to move LA8
to the final.
to the finalists.
okay, need a second?
Second.
Second, so, motion by trustee D'Ambrosio and supported by trustee Petlicoff. So is there any questions on them? If there's no questions, can we do a roll call?
Trustee Bazey.
Yes.
Trustee D'Ambrosio.
Yes.
Trustee Moser.
Yes.
Trustee Pelichkov.
Yes.
Trustee Subah.
Yes.
Trustee Zahar, no. Chair Al-Jahmi.
Yes,
6-1.
all right, we need for E73.
I move that E73 is moved as a finalist to the presidential search.
Okay, trustee, moved by
Support.
trustee Petlicoff, supported by,
I'll support it.
Trustee Sobel.
by Subah.
So
So, E73, if there is no questions, then could we do a roll call?
Trustee Bazey.
Yes.
Trustee D'Ambrosio.
Yes.
Trustee Moser.
Yes.
Trustee Pelichkov.
yes.
Trustee Subah.
Yes.
Trustee Zahar, no. Chair Al-Jahmi.
Yes.
6-1.
All right, next one is A93. So need a motion I'll make a motion for that, just a
A different voice.
different voice.
Second.
Supported by?
Second.
Oh,
Bazey.
Bazey, okay. So, if there is no questions, can we go ahead and approve A93 or roll call?
Trustee Bazey.
Yes.
Trustee D'Ambrosio.
Yes.
Trustee Moses.
Yes.
Trustee Pelichkov.
Yes.
Trustee Subah.
Yes.
Trustee Zahar, no. Chair Al-Jahmi.
Yes.
6-1.
All right, next one is T38. Need a motion?
I'll make the motion to move T38 as a finalist.
All right. Second, motion by Muzza, Trustee Muzza, and supported by Trustee Peplikov. If there's no questions, can we do a roll call?
Trustee Bazey.
Yes.
Trustee D'Ambrosio.
Yes.
Trustee Moses.
Yes.
Trustee Pelichkov.
Yes.
Trustee Subah.
Yes.
Trustee Zahar, no. Chair Al-Jahmi.
Yes.
6-1.
All right. I don't think we have anything else on the table. There's no other businesses. If no other businesses, then we adjourn the meeting. All right.